You know, almost everybody quits everything they start. And it's really a shame because a lot of times people would really stand to benefit if they could stick it out when they came to the new things that they tried. Somebody takes up tennis or takes up golf, and they do that with a lot of enthusiasm and with high expectations. And they do it for a little while and they stop. You've seen this time and time again, so have I. So a long time ago, I began trying to figure out what was going on when people quit. And it occurred to me that what happens is that when you first begin something, every time you come, you learn a whole bunch. If you had never taken tennis lessons and you took that first class, it doesn't matter what your skill level is, you would improve tremendously just by taking one class. In the beginning, you knew nothing, and 90 minutes later, you knew something. And you went home thinking, wow, I made so much progress. And that really had a lot to do with how you felt about the tennis lessons. Well, when you go back for the second class, guess what? You learn a lot in that class too, but not quite as much as you did in the first class. It was a little bit less. And each class that goes by, you can't help but learn a little bit less in each class. And I think what happens is that people get to a point where it just feels like they're not making as much progress as they did in the beginning. And you know, it's really a shame because they are getting to the good stuff by moving out of the beginning level into the intermediate level. Experts, people who have stuck with one thing for a long time, whether it's tennis or an academic study or really any skill, they'll spend months and maybe even years working on improving just one tiny little thing. They've developed that kind of mindset that empowers them to do that. So my suggestion to anybody that's just starting an activity is to not measure it, not measure it by looking through a microscope at it, but to try to measure your results by looking back over a long period of time. It's when you do something for 3 months, 6 months, for a year, for 2 years, for 5 years, that you really develop the important kind of skills that we're talking about. And you know, here's the real benefit, is that the reason that we study things for a long time doesn't always, it's not always limited to the activity itself. If you pursue tennis for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, certainly you will become a very, very skillful tennis player. But in my thinking, that's not what really matters. What matters is what the tennis lessons have done to you. You see, you have become a person who can stick out something when it gets tough. You've been a person who can fight his or her way around obstacles. And that changes you. In other words, that excellence that you've pursued in tennis seeps into every part of your personality. And then you take it wherever you go.